Mr. Lydia, thank you so much for taking the time to meet with me. Thank you so much, Mrs. Mano, for meeting with me.
Oh, you're welcome.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
All right. Can you give me an example of when you were younger, when you knew you wanted to be a coach?
In high school, I had a coach that just kind of went out of his way to motivate me to be great, and it just kind of impacted me and made me want to do that for other kids.
My first question is, have you always wanted to be a coach?
Yes.
As someone who works in the library, do you like books?
Yes.
Great. What's your favorite book?
The Sense of an Ending by Julian Barnes.
Okay, so can you tell me a little bit about that book? Why is it your favorite book?
It's very different. It's written from the perspective of an old man reflecting back on his life, and it touches on a lot of philosophical concepts that I found very interesting.
Why did you pursue your master's in nursing part-time?
At the time, I was home with 3 young children, so I could only go back to school part-time because they, needless to say, took up a lot of my time. I was a stay-at-home mom, and part of my evenings out entailed a class or 2 at Northern Illinois in DeKalb.
What schooling or what did you have to do after high school in order to become a registered nurse?
Well, the first school that I attended was Marquette University. It's a 4-year university. After I completed my undergraduate degree in nursing, I went back for my master's in nursing, which was probably another 5 years part-time, but I probably could have done it in about 1.5 to 2 years full-time. And for that degree, I attended Northern Illinois University. The next degree or certification that I acquired was through the University of Chicago, Illinois, because I need a special certification to be a school nurse here, and that took another 2 years once I was working here at the school at Cary Grove High School.
What inspired you or what motivated you to take this job at Cary Grove and work in the Media Center?
Oh, well, I'm an aspiring teacher, and so being in the school environment is fun and it's rewarding to work with the students, even if it's not in a teaching method or mode. It's working with students, and still a lot of fun and reward.
Growing up, did you have a favorite teacher or someone who made you want to become a teacher?
I did. My 5th grade teacher, I'm very fond of her. She spent a lot of time and really showed that she cared about education. And that's kind of where I made a change, because I used to be a little punk. And then in 5th grade really turned me around, and I realized education is important.
Do you have a favorite memory or a good story from coaching either this year or recently?
One of my favorites probably was when I had opportunity to coach Michael Cullen downstate when he won a state championship. It was a pretty awesome experience.
Awesome.
It took me 2 years, and actually I was working during the day here and then doing some of those classes online and then going down to the University of Chicago for some of those classes. And I had some time in between each episode of continuing my education, depending on my family life.
It sounds like you were able to find a balance between your professional and your personal life.
Right.
Well.
And I think that can be pretty difficult, especially when children are young and and they're not in school. Once they're in school, then you have a little bit more free time to either put into the time at your work or whatever. But it's harder, it's more difficult when they're at home and you're, as you know, dealing with childcare and trying to work and trying to go to school. So finding a balance can be tricky for men and women, actually, because you want to give your attention to your work, you want to give your attention to your family, which is most important, and you want to continue your own education. So that's 3 big issues that you have to deal with in balance.